Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hate Spinnerbait, the podcast where we hate spinnerbait, but we love Lexi Navigator.
Yay! Low-hanging fruit. We do, though. I think I'm a big Lexi Navigator fan. I bet you I would absolutely love her work if I knew what it sounded like. But she sounds like she's a real pop princess, so I feel like I already know that I love her.
Yes, I love a pop princess.
Yeah.
I'm Michael Ann. With me, as always, is Bethany.
Hello, everyone. Good. Hopefully we just beat USF this past weekend and are on our way to beating Miami. Nope, wait, LSU's first. LSU this upcoming weekend. But in actuality, we've only played one game at the time of this recording. But by the time you're listening, hopefully we're 2-0. Hello, everyone.
Did they win? Yesterday?
We did win, yes. We played literally no one. So if we didn't win, it would have been real embarrassing. Not to say that it's not impossible to have happened, but we did thankfully get the W. So I'm hoping to keep trekking along that way. By the time y'all are listening to this, NFL will be back as well. So we're all officially all the football is back. My fantasy football team will hopefully I got all the people I wanted in the draft.
I was at my brother's wedding during the fantasy football draft at work, so I just ended up with whoever.
It just auto drafted for you. Sometimes that works out really well, actually. Auto draft teams can be fire because, of course, the computer is giving you the best person available. So
right,
there's perks to that. I will say, definitely perks. We have a 16-person league this year, so everyone,
holy shit,
please send out good vibes to the fantasy football gods on my behalf. This is going to be impossible. And my movie just dropped on to 5th place. So I'm picking 5th now instead of 4th, which isn't that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. But I still was like, sad that it dropped me down one spot in the draft. That's okay.
Damn.
Yeah, it's still a great movie. How to Train Your Dragon. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It was delightful.
Yeah. I loved the animated ones that I feel like came out 2 years ago, but obviously.
But yeah, it was longer than that time. Like I'm telling you, it's crazy. And the animated films I'm a massive fan of. So I was really hyped that I got the live action one as my movie of the summer. Even though I was a little worried because I feel like live action reboots have not been great. But this is DreamWorks' first time dabbling in it. And I gotta say, I think they did a really good job with it. I was very pleased. That was very good. And again, was it necessary to be made? No, none of them are technically. But if it brings a new generation of fans into the books/movies, that's great because I think they're delightful. And for people who don't like animated movies, you're wrong. But if you don't, and you could only possibly watch it in live action, I get it. Like there are some perks to live action stuff. Like there's certain emotions that can only be emoted on a real human face. So that's, I get it. There's perks to it. Jay Baruchel's voice can be annoying. I understand. So if those things are problems for you, check out the live action. Still the story and the heart of it is still the same. So that I was pleased.
I'll have to watch it when it comes to streaming.
Yeah, that's good. When it gets on the old, I'm assuming it'll go to Peacock. When it comes to the old Peacock, give it a watch. Give it a watch.
Can't wait for my Real Housewives of Salt Lake City to come back.
The goods. We were out of YouTube TV was giving us some issues, so we are like behind on episode of the challenge. And the excitement I have to catch up on the challenge cannot be described, truly. So I will be very much looking forward to that. Any other bits and bobs? Any little chatty bits if we need to chat about before I give the warnings?
It's September 1st.
September 1st. Yeah. Just so you know. So if anything exciting has happened, or bad has happened and we're not talking about it, that's why. For us, it is September 1st. So if anything terrible has happened, just a blanketed, holy crap, can't believe, so sorry. our government is trash. That's likely to probably be something trashy our government has done. And if it's the good thing,
If it's the good thing, we're gonna have an insert in the beginning of the next
yeah,
episode.
we will come
So
and we will tag in for that. Yeah, we will 100% be coming in to celebrate that. So best believe. Hopefully we have a tag before this episode. Oh my god, could you imagine? But yeah, if it's a good thing, hells yeah. Alas, here's since we don't know which way things are going in a couple of weeks. Here we are. We're recording.
here we
We are
are.
discussing chapter 17, 18 of Once and For All. Some good stuff here today, but also sad stuff. This is the most of all episodes where I could possibly warn you that if you cannot handle school shooting, mentions of school shootings, gun violence, anything of that sort, please, 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 please do not pass go. Do not listen to this episode because this is the one where it is going to come the
Yep.
most into play. And we will see you again. Obviously, again, this book is unfortunately far too timely in our country. So if right now it's not something you can listen to, you want to come back later, cool, cool, cool. If you can never listen to it, also cool, cool, cool. We will catch you on the next novel or the next chaos episode. With the heavy hitting stuff out of the way, watch us on YouTube.
That is a
We're
cute.
cute. Michaeline has a cute septum piercing now. I have a bob. If you haven't seen the bob yet, come see the bob. It's
Come see the
great.
Bob.
Come see it. We have a good time here on the YouTube.
We
No,
love it.
come hang out with us and watch the stuff. If you want to continue listening, that's cool too. Anyways, once and for all, just a quick little recap again for you guys and gals. Let's admit it, mostly gals who haven't maybe listened to the last couple episodes, haven't read this book in a while, and you want a little refresher. Our girl Luna, not to be confused with my dog or Luna Blue, is our main protagonist of this story. She's great. She has gone through it though, because unfortunately her boyfriend Ethan was killed tragically. And so she has been grieving. Her mother and her mother's bestie, William, run a wedding planning business and she's working for them. This is her last summer before she goes away. So last summer after just graduated from high school. Her best friend is Jilly. We feel for Jilly because she has to take care of her brothers and sisters, and that's bullshit. Ambrose is our main guy of this novel. He has a dog named Ira that he saved. Ira is very cute. Ambrose is very funny. The tape dispenser incident, we love him. He's adorable. He's a bit much sometimes, but we still are charmed by him.
Yes.
And that's pretty much all you need to know. They've made a bet. The bet is going on. Luna has started trying to date. Ambrose is trying to find a girl to take things seriously with. And that basically catches you up to where we are today, which is chapters 17 and 18. And one last time, 18 is going to be really difficult. So just blanket warning. It is trigger warning. It is terrible. Okay. But chapter 17 is a good time. Let's start there.
Yay!
Yeah.
So Luna is grumpy in this chapter, okay? It is the day after the party when she went to the party with Leo and then Ambrose left with Leo's friend Lauren. So that's a person now. So it starts with Shirley
That's
Ambrose.
a person now. It's my favorite. What a way to actually from now on when I get introduced to someone, I was like, so that's a person now. That's a person I now know about. They exist now to me. They're a person now.
Right. They're there. They're in the story. So it starts with Shirley Ambrose has always been a person who hummed. I probably just hadn't noticed. So she is very annoyed by him humming. She's like, "Isn't it time for you to go get coffee?" And he's like, "Don't you want to do it and see Leo?" And she's like, "No." Basically, she's like, I'm in deep in these place cards right now." And they have the same size stack, and so he's skeptical of this. And she's like, "I tried to sound breezy and offhand, two things I never was." Same girl.
Oh my god.
Not
So
relate
same.
more.
I've never been breezy a day in my life.
Not a day in my life. Yeah. He's like, "Wait, I thought you guys had a good time the other night." And she's like, "Oh, we did. We did." This brought me back because I don't think a lot of people hire calligraphers for their wedding stuff anymore, but both of my sisters and my brother's first wedding was with calligraphy, and I hand wrote mine.
Yeah,
Run away.
I typed mine up on a computer because my handwriting is trash. Hashtag lefty problems. And yeah, I just typed them up with the Star Wars font that I found and used for a lot of things for my wedding. So that is what I use. But yes, calligraphy was a big thing, is a big
Yeah.
thing. Friend of the show, now come up 2 episodes in a row. Katie did learn calligraphy herself. She went to calligraphy
Oh
classes, so she wrote them herself, but
my
in
god.
calligraphy. And it was beneficial to me because I also was getting married at the time. So for my bridal shower, she did write out things in calligraphy for me for like the little like signs to let people know like what they were eating and stuff, or what they were drinking at my bridal shower. So
Katie
there
is
you go.
like, where does she get the drive? Where does she get the energy?
I'm telling you,
Like,
it's insane.
it's insane.
I
Like
wish it
the
was wish I
runs,
had it.
I wish I had even an ounce of it. To know that
Yeah.
she learned calligraphy for her wedding, I could
I
barely
didn't
pick out a
know
wedding gown.
that calligraphy classes were a thing that existed until she was like, taking some calligraphy classes so I can do my own calligraphy for the wedding. And I was like, come again? That's a thing
Oh
that
my god.
exists. But the second she said it, I was like, that tracks. You would be the person who would take calligraphy classes
Absolutely.
and do your own calligraphy for your wedding. And I will say the calligraphy she did for my bridal shower and the calligraphy she did for her wedding were top notch. So good work. I'm
Amazing.
gonna give her flowers on that. But couldn't be me. Again, found a Star
Oh.
Wars font online, type those little bitches up.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's what
Yes.
I did. Ambrose going to get the
Uh,
coffee. Yes.
yes, calligraphy.
Mhm.
So, she's like, I'm just, and she's like, usually when you trail off, people just finish the sentence. But Ambrose's head was clearly still full of beats and choruses because he said, "You're what?" And she said, "I'm busy and it's your job." And he's like, "Whoa, sorry. Okay, I'll go do it right now." Um, and so he gets up, he goes to the back office to get the money. Then he goes over to the coffee shop. He's whistling the whole time. She said, "I was sure he'd never done that before." And she's like, "So he was happy. No crime in that. And just because he'd had a great time with Lauren the night before, he hadn't said so exactly. But the music making spoke volumes. Didn't mean he was going to win our bet and me lose." Um,
Yeah, that's what you're concerned about here is the bet.
mhm. Yep, that's what's the problem here, obviously. And she just gets like progressively more grumpy as like keeps bringing up Lauren. Um, so she's like, "I just had to keep
I
going
just
on."
drank my water with the lid still on. That's hurting.
Killing it always.
Can't wait to watch that back.
Watch us on YouTube to see Bethany drink out of her water bottle
Yeah.
without taking the cap off.
Quality content.
Oh,
Oh
jeez.
gosh. Okay.
Anyway, um, he was like, "I only had to keep going on dates, just like I'd done with Leo. I wasn't humming, but I'd done it." So she's like, "I'm doing things too."
Look at me. Look at me. I went out with a boy.
Yeah, it's not just Lauren. Um,
Mhm.
so after she says after Lauren and Ambrose left that the night before, her and Leo talked for an hour or so, mostly about his writing, obviously. Um, Jilly came over occasionally, every few occasionally to complain that the party sucked and she wanted to leave. And then at 11, she bumped into some guy she knew from a food truck, big food truck community there. And she stays there with him because she wanted to stay indefinitely. And so Leo brings Luna home on his bicycle. Um, and He expects to get invited in. It's 2 AM, by the way, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Um,
buddy,
he
it's
ex
not happening.
Right. I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." She's not in high school anymore, but she's 18.
She's, like,
Um,
practically still a high schooler, okay.
right, right. Um, yeah, so then they sit outside her house instead because she's like, "I'm not bringing you inside my house." She was tired of talking and tired in general, trying to come up with a good exit strategy, but Leo was going full speed about his writing. I'm sure he was. Really, it's all a process. You have to dig, you know? Fiction is blood, sweat, tears, shit, all mixed together, like the lotus from the mud. If you nurture it, something beautiful comes.
Okay, sure,
A
dude.
little much.
Yeah.
I could admit this all sounded exotic and dramatic at one point, but that had been a few hours earlier, and I didn't even really understand what this book was about. She responds with "That's cool," which is a response that she has in her little circle of responses, including "Wow" and "Interesting," and "I never saw it like that." Um, Now he smiled like I was cute before reaching out and rubbing his thumb along the side of my mouth and then down my chin, which sounds very awkward.
Yeah.
She's like, "Maybe I had something on my face," but then he leans in for a kiss, and she very clearly does not wanna kiss this man, but she does. Um, Lots of tongue,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Okay, let it go on for a long enough period so as to not seem rude," and there's so much just in that one sentence there about
Yeah.
girlhood, you know?
Mhm. It's like you just have
Like
to it's safer to put up with a advance someone, like, making a move on you than it is to, like, try to push it off because,
mhm.
like yeah, and you're like, "Well, I don't wanna be rude," and it's like, "Ugh, no, don't kiss a guy
Or
you don't wanna kiss."
get murdered, you know?
Yeah, or get murdered, exactly, like, they're
Right.
outside, like, something could so easily she literally said, like, I had a flash of a vampire whipping a cape over his head, which was not exactly romantic, like, first of all, this guy sounds like it wasn't smooth, but also, like, that's literally how it feels, like
Yeah.
a mythical creature attacking you and not, like, what it should be, which is, like, a nice
Yeah.
consenting romantical moment. But
Mhm.
this guy
Mhm.
clearly doesn't care because, again, she mentions, she basically is just cycling through 3 things while he's been droning on for hours about his book in progress.
Mhm.
And she's like and he hasn't even noticed. And it's like, yeah, because he's not talking with you, he's talking at you. Like, he just
Yeah.
likes the sound of his own voice and his stuff. And again, I'm sure Leo learned literally nothing about Luna on this evening. And
Nope.
then just, basically, assaults her with a kiss, and she's like,
Yep.
"Alright. Let's,
Yep.
like, keep this going on for a minute so I'm not rude and I don't get murdered."
Yes. And then she gets up and she's like, "I gotta go." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yep, gotta go." And he's like, "Okay, cool. I get it." And um she gets up. He's like, "I'll see you at work, I guess." And she's like, "Sure." She starts walking up the walk, relieved to finally be wrapping things up. But after she'd only taken a few steps, he said, "It's the bet, right? Just dates, nothing more. FYI, I didn't really want that either." And she's like, "Okay."
What a little egotistical, like, idiot.
Yes.
Like, it can't possibly be me. I'm irresistible. It's just because you
Right.
have this bet, right? And, like, also, like, it's fine. I don't want anything serious either. Like, gag me.
I know. It's so gross. This man is gross. Also he smokes cigarettes. Yuck.
Yeah, disgusting.
Um, but yeah, she says, "Okay." And he was like, "It is. Okay, I mean." And she's like, "Alrighty." He was still on the curb when she went inside. She's like, "Not totally terrible of a night, just weird." And it did not leave me humming, whistling, and walking with a literal bounce in my step, something I noticed as Ambrose passed me heading out for the coffees. Um, he asks if she wants anything like a melty donut.
Which I'm
Must
like,
be
"What?"
glazed.
Yeah, I was like, "What is a melty donut?" I
Yeah.
like a donut, but I don't know if I want it melting. Like, what?
It's bread. Um, she is like, "No." Realizing that she sounds a little abrupt, she was like, "Thank you." He gives her a thumbs up. Ira's wearing a green bandana today. And she bends over to pet him, and she notices that he's still whistling. So he's very happy about something.
Mhm. Mhm.
Very happy. So just then her phone rings. Enough time had passed that sometimes I didn't even notice my Lexi Navigator ringtone anymore. Today, though, for whatever reason, the opening chords made my heart hurt in a way it had not in a while.
Oh, so
I'm
sad.
so sad for her. It's Jilly. She's like, "Happy Wednesday." Um, and she's like, "Oh, is it?" And she's like, "Sure, it's hump day, sunny and gorgeous, and we're on our way to get one of the best biscuits in town. It's perfect." So she is like Disney princess mood as well. Um, Crawford is like, "You're being weird today." And she's like, "Oh, hush. The gravy truck is actually right over near you. Can you take a break? I want you to meet Michael Salem." He goes by Michael Salem. Salem is his middle name.
Now that's a person, so that's a
Now,
person now.
so now that's a person now. Michael Salem.
Michael Salem.
Welcome to being a person.
Welcome to personhood, buddy. We're happy to have you here. What a great name, Michael Salem.
Michael Salem. Like, he's the kind of guy who does magic tricks. Did I
Yes.
bring up my magic tricks thing on the podcast?
Wait, did you? Wait.
Okay.
Refresh my memory. Let me see if this sounds familiar. It's not currently.
I need to know. Remember when we were kids, there were like magic shops and every kid was like had a top hat and a little
Oh,
stick.
yes. Okay. You brought this up in the group chat, but you have not brought this up on the podcast yet. No.
Okay, very important. I know we have listeners with children, so give me feedback here because I want to know, is magic still a thing? Is magic, or has technology taken that kind
Yeah.
of
Like
imagination?
wanting to become like a magician. Like, is that
Right.
still a thing?
Yes. Also, like famous magicians, like, do we really have those anymore?
Right. Because like our generation, like we had
A
some
ton.
famous magicians and it was like a
Yeah.
big thing and people would go to shows of them and again that made, kids want to go like be a magician and whatever. But yeah, like is
Yep.
that still
Is that
are
still a
people still
thing?
doing that? You
Like
know?
Penn and Teller was making guest appearances in freaking everything.
Mhm.
I
It
used to
was
watch their magic
big
shows
to
on
do.
TV all the time.
Big to do. And then yeah, like
And
I'm just,
now it's
I
like,
always think of Arrested Development when people talk about magicians and I think of Job like wanting to be a magician
I
every
haven't
time.
watched that.
You're not missing out on
I
much. It's one of the things that like Mike made me watch, and
Yeah.
admittedly, there are some good things. Like I like Lucille a lot. She gives like Emily Gilmore vibes, so I like
Mhm.
her a lot, and I like certain aspects of it, but other things not so much. Touch and go.
Yeah, I tried to watch it because obviously every single guy I've ever met in my entire life is like, "This is the
They
best show
all love it.
ever.
Every
You
single
have
one
to
of them.
watch it." And I'm like, "Okay, great." I tried to watch it, could not get into it. It was just not really my thing, honestly.
No, I.
Which is
It's
fine.
it's not. It's
It's
not good.
fine.
I like the here's $10, go see a Star Wars. Again, Lucille's my favorite character.
Yes,
Everything
there
else
are
is
some good, like there's some good
kind of
one-liners.
terrible. Yeah. The good for her comes that like everyone
Yes.
always posts online when something is happening, which also like no one realized for years that she's holding a cupcake. Like everyone's like, why did I just assume she was like holding a teacup and a saucer or something? It's straight up a cupcake.
It's a cupcake. I love that.
The internet.
Oh,
What a funny place.
anyway, I wanna know if kids still fantasize about pulling rabbits out of top hats.
Yes. Please hit us with the intel if you happen to have any.
Hold on, I just dropped my cap.
Oh no, she dropped the cap. This is
Cap.
the hard hitting things that we talk about on Hate Spinnerbait now. Last episode, we're like, kids know about Gumby.
Yeah.
This episode, we're like, did the youth know about magicians?
Do the
Tune in
youth
next
still wanna be
week
magicians?
to find out what things we're hypothesizing on whether or not the children know about.
It's just like
It's
they
grown
have
up.
so much tech, like, this is like the iPad kid generation, like, they've
Yeah,
had technology, advanced technology since they came
right.
out of the womb. So I'm
And I feel
like,
like those things aren't as exciting. Like game shops,
yeah,
and I don't mean like game shops as in like video game shops, but I mean like
yes,
board game, like D&D shops are like such a big they like had a resurgence in the last 2 years because of like millennials and probably some Gen Z as well. But I'm so curious. I'm like, I don't think that those are sustainable. Like I think that they're about to like start shutting down again because yeah, like the generation that's being brought up now, like I just can't imagine that being like a brick and mortar fantasy board game being like a thing that interests. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that they
same.
are, but I hope them people's kids' imaginations are still alive and well. But I have my doubts, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was thinking about it and I was like, I don't really remember. I mean, granted, I moved away when the kids were still pretty young, so I could have just missed it, but I don't remember any of the kids in my family like
Wanting
any
to be a
sort of
magician,
magician thing.
yeah.
And so
I
I'm
don't
just
think
like, it's
any
fascinating.
of my nieces and nephews or have had shown any interest in that, and they're not even like, you know, iPad kids or anything, like, they're not screen kids, but it's just like, yeah, I don't think, like, again, like, when we grew up, magicians were, like, such a thing, like, you were aware of it, and now kids growing up are they're like, "I wanna be a prank YouTuber." Prank YouTubers are the new magicians, I bet you, because, like, that's what they are seeing now, like, that's all the rage for them, which, like, oh, yikes, you know, but
Jesus Christ.
and this is why have I brought this up on the show before? I feel like I have. I'm so sorry if I have, but this is why I'll send everyone suddenly into Alex Warren and I can never get down with him. I'm like, he started off with a prank YouTube channel. Are we all just forgetting that? We're all supposed to take
Who the
this
fuck is
this
Alex?
white man seriously now? Nah. Ain't doing it. Ain't doing it.
We don't take white men seriously in this house.
Yeah. We just don't. I'm sorry.
Oh. Oh, he's a singer?
Yeah. And like everyone's like, "Oh my god, like I love him." And I was like, he literally got famous for being a prank YouTuber, and we're like, gonna listen to him sing love songs about his wife now? I'm sorry. No, not doing it.
It's so weird.
Not doing it. But yeah,
Anyway, back to the book.
anyhow.
Um, yeah, so she goes, he's like big butthurt about it. They are back and the present time, Jilly is calling her. She's also in a very bumpy, happy mood.
Mm.
Michael Salem, that's what got us on our that's what
Yes.
Michael Salem.
It's always like, let's
Um,
trace this back. How did we get on this tangent?
yeah. Michael Salem, because when I picture someone named Michael Salem, I picture a little weird kid who likes magic. So
Magic, yeah.
that's where it came from.
Salem just makes me think magic, witches and
Exactly.
stuff, yeah.
Um, and he's like, does he always go by his first and last names? And she's like, Salem is his middle name, and I think it's cute. So Jilly is down bad here as well.
She's not bad. She's not bad. Hopefully she's not crying at the gym. She might be.
Mm, hopefully not. I don't think we need any more of those.
Mm-mm.
Um, so she's like, yes, this is the guy from the party last night, but he's not just a guy from a party, if you know what I mean. And she's like, what do you mean? And she's like, I like him a lot, like a very much lot. She says she thinks I was about to tell her she'd only just met him, that it couldn't possibly be that serious, but I knew the tone of her voice, that buoyant giggle, the sudden glint the world got on a morning after like this. Clearly, epic was going around. Too bad I'd already had my turn. Oh.
Hmm.
She's like, that's great, Julie. Like, I'm so happy for you. And Julie's like, it's early, but like, he's just like so great, blah, blah, blah. And he's a redhead with freckles.
Me too.
And then I tried to
I
think,
love a ginger.
is this a man from another book? But no, we definitely haven't met a Michael Salem.
No, yeah. We've met Michaels. We have met a ginger, but we have never met Michael Salem, who is a ginger.
Okay.
So, because what's his face? I think Ted. Is it Ted that's the ginger in this lullaby? I don't know. One of Dexter's friends slash bandmates is a ginger,
Ted.
and I want to say it's Ted,
Is
but
it?
Don't quote me on that because there's one
Mm,
that's like, what are all their names? I don't know. We're
somebody's
not.
screaming at us.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys. Anyway, um, yeah, she's like, he's a redhead with freckles, and Luna's being a supportive friend, even though she's sad, 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 and we love that.
Wow, yeah.
Um, she's like, oh, I can't wait to meet him. And Jilly's like, we'll come to the truck. Like, you can meet him right now. Crawford's in the background with the kids being like, the other two kids being like, there's four of them actually, right? Anyway,
No.
um, I wanted a muffin, Crawford said. Kit Kat, the twins say, me too. We hate biscuits. And Jilly, still like in a haze of euphoria, is like, hush
Mhm.
up. And Luna is like, no, I can't. We have this huge rehearsal dinner. There's tons of stuff to do. Jilly was disappointed by this, but only for about 2 seconds.
Yeah, she moves on quickly. She's a girl in love.
She says, we'll double date you and the lumberjack. Hey, how did that go anyway? You looked like you were having fun. She's like, it was fine. Um, at that moment, Ambrose comes in with his coffee. He's humming again, giving her a jaunty salute. She says, I tried not to grimace, probably failed. She's like, I'll fill you in later. She's like, give me a call whenever you can, blah, blah, blah. So she did not try to match Jilly's enthusiasm at the end of that call.
No.
She puts down the phone and picks up another seating card, folding it. As she reached for another one, a slim paperback with the cover featured a line drawing of a field, one crow flying overhead. Harvest, it said on the cover. I looked at Ambrose, who was taking a seat beside me. What's this? Alone from Leo. He said to take your time with it. Um, of course he did. She
This
pulled the book
guy.
over, a novel by Michaela McClatchy. The first note, the first line is, in a world, in a field, a plow sits. Harvest has come. Yes, Sarah.
It's so good.
Drag them.
Drag
Drag them,
them.
Sarah.
Drag them. They're so serious, so
They're
self-important.
such good writers.
Their little story told from the point of view of the plow. So serious.
And she's like, ugh, for God's sake. And he's like, oh, are you okay? And she's like, I'm fine. I just want to work. And he's like, sure, let's work. A moment later, he started humming again.
I
Is
love
he
that
hum?
one. Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Hit me with it.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say I love that. I'm asking myself, is he humming because of Lauren, or is he humming because he knows that Jilly had an awful time on that date? Not Jilly,
I was like,
Luna.
Julie. Luna. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a very good question. Which one is it? Because I definitely feel like both of them are like trying to act things up a little bit here. Because like
Yeah,
she specifically, what I was gonna say is gonna she's talking to Jilly, she's probably about to be like a little bit more honest. And then she sees Ambrose walking back in and she's like, I'll fill you in later. Like she doesn't want to like admit that her date was terrible to Ambrose in front of him, even though again, like by her sour mood, it's clear that it's terrible. So yeah, like is he humming because he's like, oh, like things aren't going well for like that date didn't go well? Or yeah, is he humming because he actually is interested in Lauren? I don't know. But I feel like both of them are definitely like playing their little parts in front of each other. Like her not wanting to like her mostly sour mood is because he seems to be in a good mood and she's like, what the hell, like why is he in such a good mood? Like last night he like just met this girl and like I again she's got all in her head from William. And
yeah,
then he sees her and is all she's all miserable. So yeah, is that making him happy? Not happier that she's miserable, but like happy that like the date didn't go well. But yes, I find it very interesting. I feel like they're definitely both like putting on a little bit of a front in front of the other, and
yes.
I'm here for it.
I am here for it. Um, so then we skip ahead. We're at the rehearsal dinner, I believe, for Eleanor. Um, they are lighting candles, setting up. The week hadn't been great, but at least it'd been busy. Eleanor Lynn's rehearsal dinner and wedding distracted her from Ambrose's cheerful mood and Jilly's own epic night, which I'd heard all about in the days since. Michael Salem, he was indeed always referred to by this double moniker. Crazy. Um, had just graduated from the Fountain School, of course. Skateboarded in competitions, had 4 siblings, just like her. He is in the great she shows her a picture of him leaning out of the gravy truck. Is definitely not Jilly's type. She thinks to herself.
Sometimes that's what it takes, ladies. Stay outside your type.
Yep, exactly. Okay, yeah, her mom is talking to Eleanor's mom, and the mothers of the bride can always be a little bit annoying. And it looks like this mother of the bride is being annoying, trying to make rules and set things. She's like, I want somebody to stand here. And her mom's like, Eleanor doesn't want anyone to stand there. And she's like, well, I put someone there. That's that. Let me see. I missed something. So, yeah. So with that, she walked away. Mom is just watching her go, face calm, but eyes narrowed. There was no counter argument to a person telling you you are wrong and then what to do, even if you were a Natalie Barrett. She feels a rush of protectiveness, and then mom glances at her and she quickly goes back to work. She lit the wick of a candle, and right as she did, someone leaned over and blew it out, which is Ambrose, obviously. He says, sorry, he said quickly, I just can't light a candle without making a wish and blowing it out. It's some kind of birthday neurosis. And she's like, well, then you definitely shouldn't be doing this job. And he's like, it's okay. I'm just lighting them, wishing and blowing, and then lighting them again. She's like, it had been a long day, but just about anything had the potential to cross the line of just too damn much. But there was something about this that shot me over it. Are you serious? He's like, what? That is the stupidest, most waste of time thing I've ever heard. Ouch, he says. Are you mad at me? And she's like, it's not professional. Making wishes, lighting candles twice. You're here representing our company. You need to act like it. And he is like, okay, like kind of looks around at the empty
Like, all right.
place. And he's like, I'll stop. And then he leaves, goes to the other side of the table, and she goes back to her own work. She says, I found myself pausing, though, with the next candle I lit, thinking of what he'd said, but I didn't make a wish. What was the point? By 6:55, all the candles were done, and the guests were pulling up. Luna gets the job to stand by the gazebo and direct guests to their table. The first people who walked up didn't even acknowledge her, just got their seating card and went in. As another group approached, I looked across the tables. Oh, yeah. Ambrose is standing with William over by the pond, talking about something. His face was animated, and William nodded politely, seeming kind of charmed. She says, I thought of Jilly earlier and all day, really. The unique quality to a person's voice when you know they are just as happy to hear themselves say something as they are to tell it to you. Of course, I couldn't say Ambrose was definitely talking about Lauren. It could have been Ira or anything. And yet, she's like, and yet it was Lauren. She's like, it's Lauren.
But it really could be anything. What would William be charmed by? I don't think William would be charmed by Lauren. Come on, girl.
Come on, girl.
Come on, girl. I love just how how grumpy our girl is here. And I love that. Honestly, it is too damn much, the candle thing. It is. But it's so funny, like when you love someone, you're like, oh, that's so endearing and so cute. And when you're like peeved at someone, you're like, this is so annoying.
Yeah, get the fuck away from me with your whimsy.
Like, yeah, exactly. How dare you be whimsical right now? I can't handle it. And it just cracks me up. Oh man.
So then Ben Reed walks in, which is a guy she went to school with.
A person now.
Also a person now. Welcome. Ben Reed. Um, he knows the bride's brother. He has had a girlfriend, Amy Tellman, who he's dated since middle school. Um, and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, Albert Lynn and I grew up doing the camps together," which I'm assuming is her brother. So she's like, he's like, "But what about you? Why are you here?" And she's like, "Oh, my mom's the wedding planner. I'm working." She finds his table card and hands it out to him, and she's like, "You're at table 6." Um, he says, "Thank you." And he's like, "Wow, I wish I brought a date." And so this prompts Luna to be like, "Oh, how's Amy, your girlfriend?" And he's like, "We broke up." And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And he's like, "Yep, it was her decision last summer before college, wanting to make a fresh start at UC Berkeley, blah, blah. I should have seen it coming." And Luna says, "Well, I didn't." And he says, "Me neither. I'm basically gutted. Anyway, it's great to see you, especially without having our teacher droning on about global implications in front of us." He did love the big consequences. And she's like, "Have fun tonight." He makes a face and starts walking away. Halfway to his table, he turns around and glances at her, and she looks away quickly because she was still watching him. And then a couple of people walk up. "Wait, what is this? The tables? How do we know which number we are?" And so then she did find somebody that needed to be directed to their table.
Those were the boomers, for sure.
Yes, 100%. The end of the rehearsal dinner is different from that of a wedding. Even if it's late, there's still a sense of anticipation and excitement. The big event still ahead. That is, if you're a guest. When you're working, it's one down, one to go. Ambrose is like, "Are you sure you won't get upset?" She gives Ambrose an apologetic look. "No, and I shouldn't have said it earlier. I'm just super grumpy for some reason. I'm sorry." He says, "Okay." He blew out the candle. She wondered what he wished for. And he says, "I didn't realize Leo was such a bust as a date." Mm, 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 mm. And she's like, he wasn't. It was me." And Ambrose is like, "Oh, Lauren seems to think otherwise." And she's like, "You talked to Lauren about this?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, Leo is her best friend. I figure she'd have insight." What was he asking her for insight for?
Yeah, just curious, Ambrose. Just curious.
Spending your time with Lauren talking about Luna.
Talking about Luna. Isn't that interesting? Very
Interesting,
interesting.
interesting. Um, um, yeah, she's like, "Did she?" And she's like, he's like, "Yeah." She said that he's great if you've known him forever, like she has, but in college she's become a bit dot dot dot. Luna's like, "I waited, curious about exactly what adjective he would follow." And he finishes with insufferable. He finished. She blames his writing professor and hopes it's just a phase. I don't know, girl. I'm sorry. I think you
I,
might have lost him forever.
yeah, I think he's gone. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Um, but she understands he probably isn't the best boyfriend material, and Luna's like, "Well, good thing I'm not the one who has to stick in a long-term relationship." And he said, "Oh, I've got you beat, no question. Lauren will make it easy." Which is like, damn, Ambrose.
Yeah, I'm like that's
Harsh.
harsh, my
Harsh.
dude. So harsh.
Um, After all the whistling, hummy, bouncy steps and general good cheer, the fact he felt this way shouldn't have been any kind of a surprise, but hearing it for whatever reason was still difficult. She had a flash of him when they were doing that photo shoot of him standing behind her.
Mhm.
And she's like, "Well, she seems great." And he's like, "She's awesome. Don't feel bad. It was just a super stroke of luck. She showed up when she did that night." And Luna's like, "I'm still in this. All I have to do is date a bunch of people once, and I'm doing that." And he's like, "True, true. So are you saying you have another prospect already lined up?"
My
And
husband
she's
is creeping on me right now. Sorry, everyone. Yes, can I assist you? No, just wanted to be disturbing. Yeah. Okay. All right. Love you.
He's
It's
like, "I
like,
need
"Oh,
attention,
yeah,
Bethany."
play with me." It's giving sometimes.
Um, oh, yeah, so he's like, "Oh, so do you have another prospect lined up? Very curious about that." She's like, "I'm
Mm,
working on it." She's like, which wasn't really a lie, but she said, "What I've actually been mulling a bit worriedly was that if Jilly was so into Michael Salem, I'd be losing the one person who was happy to set me up repeatedly, unless he had lots of friends." And Ambrose is like, "Oh, well, good. It's no fun if we can't keep it interesting." And she's like, "Oh, don't worry about that. You just focus on you." And she walks over to another table to blow out the candles. And she's like, Once done, I looked up to see him staring at me. And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "You really don't make a wish, like ever?" She's like, "It's not my birthday. This isn't a cake." And he's like, "Yeah, it doesn't have to be. Like, just you could ask for something just given the chance, like putting it out on the universe, in the universe, like that means something." She's like, "Wishes don't come true." And he's like, "You don't need anything. Your life is perfect." And she was like, "I just don't want to burst your bubble, but just because you make them doesn't increase the chances of them working." And he's like, "You don't really know that." And that's true, I guess. Um, so she looked down at the row of four flames in front of her, still lit. She's like, "Let's just agree to disagree. That's your thing, like stealing dogs and doing the conga. It doesn't mean it has to be mine, right?" And he's like, "That's how you sum me up? Dog stealer and conga dancer?" And she's like, "And wishmaker." And she's like, "I'm just not, okay?" He held my gaze for a second, and I had the fleeting thought out of nowhere that he might say it wasn't. Instead, though, he came over and bent down and then closed his eyes, blowing out the row from one end to another. When he was done, he gave me a smile and walked off to the next table. It wasn't until later driving home that I realized he'd never answered my question. But I knew the real reply to his. My last birthday, I'd closed my eyes and thought of nothing when I leaned over my cake. You stop believing in wishes when the only one you want to make can never come true.
Luna.
I'm
Aw.
devastated for Luna.
I'm so devastated for her. I
It's
love the little dance that her and Ambrose had in this chapter, but I'm
me
devastated
too.
for her.
You can like
Ugh,
tell they're both like forcing happiness and being like, "So what are you doing next? Oh,
yeah.
well, who are you dating next?" Like,
Everything's going great for me. How about you?
we're feeling wonderful.
Glad we're keeping it interesting. And it's like, oh my God, just shut up and kiss already.
Shut
Like,
up and kiss already.
gosh, y'all clearly like each other. Okay. Just these boys and
Yes.
these girls, they just. All right. Chapter 18. The time has come. Now that we've had adorable bands and we ended on a heartbreaking note of you stop believing wishes or anything you want to make can never come true, we're going to
Mhm.
fully just gut punch you here with chapter 18.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Here we go. Dive
Um,
right in.
that morning, that morning in all caps, you instantly know. You know the two
Yes.
words. You know where we're going.
Mhm.
I texted Ethan as soon as I woke up, like I did every day. I never got out of bed until I saw his return message pop up on my screen. He wishes her a good morning. Again, she's kind of going on about how this is their routine. With that, she pushes back her covers. She goes downstairs where her mom is watching Daybreak USA, her favorite morning show. I do love mom's like diatribe about this morning show, her like talking about them.
Yeah.
She says she does like a running commentary, and it is pretty funny. Melissa's just too thin these days. I know she's going through that divorce, but she needs to take care of herself. Um, she says that during the school year, so she's, while her mom is doing this running commentary on her little morning show, she's asking her what's going on. She says during the school year, she's not as informed with the weddings and stuff because she only works there on the weekend. Apparently, it's Rachel Quacker's, was it Quacker?
Quaker.
Quaker. I was like, Quaker oats. This is my brain. Oh. Okay, passing out. Okay. Rachel Quaker's rehearsal dinner, and she asks about her mom. Is that the one with the bunking bronco? And she's like, it's a mechanical bull. Apparently, there's going to be an homage to her home state, complimentary cowboy hats. There's going to be barbecue, this whole jazz. Her mom is opposed. I think it's kind of fun. I love a
Me too.
theme. And make
Yeah,
it fun. Weddings don't have to be stuffy. Do you, especially the rehearsal dinner? Like, yeah, I was like, that's fun. That's different. I like it.
yeah.
I'm into it. Natalie Barrett is not. That's okay.
No, no.
She's worried someone's gonna break their neck. Hopefully, it's not the bride or groom. And then she's over here talking about Patrick Williams. He said so much Botox he can't even look concerned for those poor people on that wrecked ferry. This is like such a like I feel like a mom thing to do. Just sit there and like talk
Yes.
about these people like you know them.
Yeah.
It's great. So her breakfast is ready. She's like, gotta go meet up with Jilly to study for the Spanish quiz that she's worried about. She gets a text from Jilly that apparently there's a lunchbox fail. Be there ASAP courtyard. So she again is basically taking her brothers and sisters to school, being mini mom, which is as stated every week, just ridiculous.
Mhm.
She hears her ringtone, the special Alexi Navigator ringtone. Ethan comes on. He's like, "Hola, Nina Bonita. ¿Estás lista para las prueba?" I can't remember how to say
Prueba?
test in prueba in Espanol. Apologies to everyone who speaks Spanish for my terrible Espanol there.
Yes. Yeah.
Sincerest apologies. So he's probably things off in Spanish, and she's like, I don't know any of this. This does not bode well for me. And he's like, yeah, I asked if you're ready for the test. Also, I called you pretty girl, which is like, oh my god, what a little sweetie, what a little sweetie.
No.
And she's like, well, that's nice. And the answer is clearly no. Everyone, he apparently drives to school with his buddies. They're all talking about, they're like, oh my god, are you like talking to your girlfriend again? And like, you're always talking to your girlfriend. Aren't we stopping for donuts? And she's like, oh my god, like, this never gets old, like hearing like someone, refer to her as like, his girlfriend. And he says that he can't stop for donuts because he has to go meet his coach in his office before late bell. Oh god.
Go get donuts.
Go get donuts. For the
Go
love
get
of
donuts.
God, go get donuts.
Please go get donuts.
Please. He's really nervous about it. Luna's being super sweet. She's, saying about like if you're getting called in for a special meeting, like he's, said it's only a good or bad thing. And she's been assuring him since last night that it's good. But be sure to text me. I'm so curious. And he's like, yeah, you and me both. Like, better go. We'll talk at lunch. She's like, yep. And she's like, I tell you how like badly I bombed the quiz. And again, he responds in Spanish, and she's like, I don't know what that is. And he says, love you. And she says, love you too. Talk soon. Good. Yeah. Okay. So she pulls into the lot. It's 7:55. She still doesn't see Jilly. She's trying to study, but like so much for studying. Like Jilly hasn't shown up. She's not going to get a chance to. And also, like Luna seems a little distracted. She's worried about Jilly, wondering where she is, if she's going to make it to this quiz on time. She's worried about, Ethan because he's stressed out about his thing. She gets to class. She starts taking the test. She's not feeling great about it, but she finishes. And as it goes on, she's kind of like, okay. So again, she's like, Jilly like doesn't show up, and she's like, what the heck? Like this is not good. And she says, she sees someone pass by. She thinks it's Jilly. It's not her. At 9:05, the bell rings. It's the end of the first period. She pulls out her phone, expecting to see text, but she still doesn't see anything. And now she's getting like a little bit worried. And she's like, I gotta get to art history. As usual, everyone seemed to be moving super slowly. I was in a rush. She said the hallway was packed with people. Everyone seems to be standing around the TV in the main office looking at something, but it didn't occur to me to see what it was. Because again, if it's a normal day for you, why would it? She goes outside. Again, Jilly was late, and Jilly shows up in a panic. So Luna's first response is, oh my God, something has happened to her. Something's happened to one of the kids. Like, what's going on? And so she says, she hears a trembling. It makes her stop where she is. And she's like, oh my God, is everything okay? And she's like, no, it's not, Luna. There's been a shooting. And she's like, what? And her teacher's kind of like beckoning her to come in. And she's like, like, I don't understand. And in response, she pulls out her phone, breaking, it said, in yellow block letters on the screen, above an image of a flat cinder block building with a flagpole out front, a tiger painted on its side. Shooter confirmed at high school, Brownwood, New Jersey. I looked at the words, trying to make sense of them. So things are kind of starting to click into place for her. She says, "Oh my God," and immediately, of course, pulls out her own phone to try to talk to Ethan to make sure that he's okay. Um, she says because Ethan was fine, he had to be. What were the chances? So this is where Jilly kind of fills her in on what's been going on with her. She was late with a stupid lunchbox. She happens to hear about on the radio. She says it was in the gym. At least that's what they were saying. This makes Luna feel a little bit better. Ethan's first class is English. I knew this super well. He wouldn't have been in the gym. He starts in the main building. So, Jilly, of course, is trying to reassure her. She's like, "Oh, good. Like I just heard Brownwood and there were fatalities and I had to see you or had to let you know, let you know about this." So, she's just waiting for the little bubbles, the little typing bubbles to show up that he's responding, but nothing. And her class is like, or her teacher's like, "Hello, like, what are you doing standing out here?" And Jilly's like, like, I'm sure he's fine. Like, she says it's a huge school. He always says so. Luna says that, and Jilly's reassuring her, and she's like, yeah. Like, he wasn't even near there. And, she's like, "I guess, I gotta go to class." So she goes in class and Jilly's like, "Yeah, I'm sure he'll text you any minute. Like, please let me know." And she's like, "Of course." And her teacher, standing there lecturing about surrealists, and she can't pay any attention. She says, "Not that I could have told you then or now what she said. I wrote not one word on the empty white page with a notebook in front of me, my eyes instead on my phone screen, which I had hidden under my coat in my lap. Our school, like Ethan's and most others, had a strict in-class no screen policy that I usually followed. But that day, I would have fought someone to keep it close and on. By the time the bell rang, there was still no word." I'm going to be honest, and I understand she's like in shock. I wouldn't have been able to go to class. I would have been like, "And I'm leaving for the day. Thank you. I will be glued to my phone."
I don't
So
have
kudos
any
to
idea
her.
what
Like
I would do in that
how I would respond.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like how do you respond? And I think that's kind
Mhm.
of the thing. Like she's, I mean, clearly just very much in shock by all of this. Um, the minute she gets back outside, class is over, she tries to call him again. "Please let me know you are okay." She texts and she says, "No dots." I felt suddenly sick and lurched over to a nearby trash can, pulling my hair back, but nothing happened. Just people pushing past, talking on their way to class like any other day. Then a beep. Thank God, I thought, tears springing to my eyes. Unfortunately, the word is from Jilly asking if there is any word. Um, and she's like, "No." It wasn't until I was about halfway there that I remembered something about my conversation with Ethan that morning. Said I'd meet Coach in his office before the late bell. And it suddenly kind of dawns on her, oh shit, he would have been either near the gym or in the gym when this took place. She goes ahead. She says I stopped walking right where I was, causing someone to bump me from behind. They exhaled, then cut around me as I opened my news app. The latest wasn't hard to find. It was right at the top. Breaking story, shooting at New Jersey high school. I clicked the link, which took me to a picture of that same school building and flagpole, this time with cop cars parked all around the front of it. 3 bullet points designed for scanning quickly were below. Which again, like this is literally how these stories always go, but like isn't that shitty? Like, this is so common that it's like, here's a quick thing so so you can be up to date on the latest children death. Um, Shots fired just before first period around 8:20 a.m. Multiple victims reported in gym area. Shooter believed to be current student acting alone. 8:20, I thought. I'd just gotten my Spanish quiz. Ethan should have been in English, trying not to look at the hair of the girl in front of him, which she maintained was so greasy it literally dripped onto his desk. I knew this. I knew everything about him, so how did I not know if he was all right? The hallway was emptying as everyone went into classrooms and down the nearby staircase. Moments earlier, it had been packed, elbow to elbow with me, just one sea of people. Now I stood there staring at my screen until all the doors around me shut and I was the only one left standing alone. I told myself I wasn't moving until I knew something, that I'd stop time in this interim. Later, it would seem silly that I thought I could do this, have some control over events already unfolded. But I believed in a lot of things before. I never heard from Ethan again. Jesus Christ. And that's
Ugh,
terrible.
that is so
Absolutely terrible. So
yeah,
heavy. I just
brutal.
basically wanted to read that last like page in full because
Yeah,
I can't do it justice. Like you just have to hear it because it's so
yeah,
like yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's what a note to leave you all on. I apologize.
yeah. Sorry.
Again, kudos to Sarah for her beautiful writing. I am annoyed once again that this is still so relatable and still such a problem in this country. But here we are. So yay. Not yay, obviously.
Yep.
But yeah, take care of yourselves. Again, we are
Yes.
recording this on September 1st. So hopefully in the interim since we've recorded, I don't know, there's something good to look forward to in life for you personally or on a national scale. Who knows? But yeah, times are tough out there. Yeah, speaking of tragedies and mass shootings, something I know near and dear to me and Michael Ann's hearts is the Pulse shooting, since obviously we lived in Orlando. Michael Ann being a part of the queer community of Orlando at a time in her life and having gone to some, obviously Pulse was the place to be at the time. And we all are familiar with what happened. And then, of course, the state of Florida has made it their personal mission to completely dismantle a, um, crosswalk that kind of was in honor of the victims. So everything's shit. But maybe in 2 weeks' time when this comes out, we've won, but I doubt it. But it's been a bittersweet story, and that everyone has really like fought back and have painted it and use chalk and whatever. And again, basically the moral being, as Mr. Rogers says, always look for the helpers, always look for the good in people and situations. And even when things are really shitty, there's always people showing up with chalk. So we
Yes.
got that going
And
for us.
resist.
Resist. Be
Resist.
hopeful in any way that you can. Because if you lose hope, that's when they win. So yeah. All right.
Yes.
Take care of yourselves, everyone. Much love.
Bye.
Bye.